6-month investigation, and the Office of Inspector General found we violated no ordinances, no policies, no rules, no conflict of interest provision, and no money misspent. Normally, a City of Detroit administration gets a 6-month investigation with no rules broken and no money misspent is a positive.
Now, that was Mayor Duggan on last Sunday's Flashpoint broadcast. That interview came, of course, after the report by the Inspector General's office on the Make Your Date controversy, but it was before we were able to read Ellen Ha, the Inspector General's own take on the way that her report had been received by the administration. And the Inspector General for the City of Detroit, Ellen Ha, is my guest this morning on Detroit. Ellen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I think you take issue with the characterization that the mayor just described there.
Yes, actually, the summary that he provided to you that morning pertains to Make Your Date. So with respect to our findings on Make Your Date, we said he did not violate any policies or procedures or any laws when he unilaterally selected Make Your Date program in the city's effort to reduce infant mortality. What we had issues about that was that he made the decision unilaterally that it was not transparent and open. So we had issues with the method by which the program was chosen. With respect to deleted emails, we did not review any policies or retention schedules or the law pertaining to deleted emails, because there's another agency that is currently investigating this from a legal perspective.
The Attorney General's office.
Yes.
But you did find that the deletion of those emails did amount to an abuse of authority on Alexis Wiley's part, and that you recommended that she be disciplined. I said it was hard to miss the frustration in your column regarding all of this, because you also recently sort of had a number of recommendations regarding the Police Board of Commissioners that were also roundly ignored. Your office was kind of created out of the wreckage of the Kwame Kilpatrick crash in 2012. This was supposed to be, creating this Inspector General's office, supposed to be a bulwark against corruption.
Yes.
Did we create it the right way? Have we done that?
I believe we have, we meaning the City of Detroit. But, you know, we are relatively a new office, so there's going to be some growing pains. And we've learned a lot of things that we did not know until the office was established. We have tremendous authority compared to other Inspector General's offices in the rest of the country, in that we can debar companies up to 20 years. The federal government, their limit is 5 years. So
for companies rather that have behaved inappropriately or unethically with the city.
Yes.
But your office doesn't have teeth to enforce the recommendations that you made, for instance, discipline on city employees in the mayor's office.
That's right. So we are, as the office, currently talking about how we can put some teeth into that portion of our authority in the charter. So we are looking into maybe perhaps amending it or adding some other languages where we could make recommendations, and the recommendations have to be considered a little bit more firmly than it has been.
Well, out of this entire Make Your Date then controversy, what left you the most concerned?
So of the two findings, we made two key findings. One was the Make Your Date selection. We did not find that that was open and transparent. However, because no regulations or policies or procedures were violated or any laws were violated, it did not rise to the level of abuse of authority.
Does that say something about the laws that are in place then?
Well, that's why we recommended that the mayor and his administration look into perhaps establishing a policy and procedure in terms where nonprofit organization can pair with city programs in the mayoral initiatives.
You made it a point to say that, and the mayor has basically refused to talk about his personal life, his personal relationship with Dr. Hassan. You said that that did not weigh into your thinking. But public officials have to worry about two kinds of impropriety: actual impropriety and the appearance of impropriety.
Yes.
Wasn't that relationship what led to the appearance of impropriety and a lot of concerns that got your office involved in the first place?
Actually, it wasn't the fact that the allegations were made between his relationship, whatever, if any, between the mayor and Dr. Hassan, but it was the way in which he selected the program. And that was what we were focusing on. And I'm a firm believer that, as the mayor had said, that even though you are an elected official and most of your life as an elected official, you live in a fishbowl,
Yep.
but behind closed doors, between your families and friends, you should be able to have a
Entitled
personal
to
life.
privacy. Lastly, the mayor has said that he believes that Alexis Wiley and the other employees that were involved in the email portion of this need is training. That's not what you recommended. Is that a satisfactory answer to you?
Yes, absolutely. So I wrote that opt-ed opinion for two purposes. One, for people to see why our office was created. Mm-hmm. And in light of the city of Detroit's history and in light of the fact how our office was created and why it was created, we felt that it was important that the public understand that we can clean up our own mess, that we can identify our own mess, and we don't need the state to come in and dictate what the city of Detroit should do, or the feds to walk in and dictate what the city of Detroit can do. We can self-govern, and we can self-govern with honesty and integrity. And we believed that receiving a training was not an appropriate discipline for the deletion of emails.
Thanks very much. Well, we'll see what the Attorney General's office still has to say about all this as they continue their part of the investigation, so the state may end up weighing in on city business. Ellen Ha, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
You bet. We'll be back with more in just a minute. This is Flashpoint on Local 4.